What's up, guys? I'm SaltEMike, and this is your Star Citizen Week in Review for November 27th, 2023. IAE continues, and they just sold the ship I had to get. We had the best Star Citizen Live of the entire year, in my opinion, and the simplest gameplay could unlock one of the pillars of the game. All that and more on today's Week in Review. And if this is your first Week in Review, this is where I take all of the official Star Citizen news each week, put it into one video, and share some of my opinions about it. I also live stream on Twitch, twitch.tv/SaltEMike, every day but Monday, so I can get this video out to you guys, starting at around 6:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And yeah, we have a ton to get through. There's a little bit on the patches, so let's check out some patch updates. We're going to start out with an Arena Commander update. So it's pretty simple. They updated the schedule through the rest of the year. Gun Rush is back, along with Master Mode's Duel, which started yesterday, the 26th of November, and goes through the 3rd of December. Then it's Single Weapon Elimination, which is with a Railgun and Mirror Match. I'm not sure what Mirror Match is, so I'll have to check it out, or leave a comment down below and let me know. And then Gun Rush is back on December 10th, with Tank Royale on the 17th. Now, I'm a member of Evocati, but as it was American Thanksgiving when the test was running and I have family visiting and we're hosting, I never got a chance to try this. The replication layer went into testing. I won't be sharing anything outside of that, but I absolutely believe you deserve to know that at least a test happened. I think Star Citizen should be telling you that anyway, right? Live stability during the free fly was really strong. For the same reasons above, I haven't been in the game much at all, but I am hearing that the stability, given we're in an IAE, which is the busiest time of the year, and a free fly, it's insane. Very few crashes and 30Ks, and crash recovery is working consistently. This is awesome. I mean, this is the exact opposite of what we had at the beginning of the year with 318, so you gotta love that, right? That's really all we have for the patches, though, so let's go into the biggest stuff of the week, IAE. All right, and starting out on Monday, nothing of note here outside of the 890 jump going on sale for Origin Day and other large ships, so nothing crazy. Then Drake Day was Tuesday, and I can't recall anything of note from this day really, but it's Drake, and we love Drake here. Then we had Argo, Kruger, Consolidated Outland, and Greycat Day. The major ship sale here is the SRV, obviously, and it's going to be an amazing tool and open up so much for the game, along with other ship tractor beams. I can't express this enough. It was talked about quite a bit this week in both ISC and Star Citizen Live, and I'll talk more in detail during the video section, but this ship is feeling like the start of the proper Death of a Spaceman mechanic, or that type of gameplay at least, because we have this tool. They can start punishing us for damaging our ships, since this will allow us to have them towed, and they can stay our ships instead of just be destroyed, and our only option is to claim. There also was a question and answer thread for the SRV. The first question simply asked what it can move, and most things are going to be part of it, but it has some limitations. You cannot attach or detach items or move people with it. Now, I thought that was a bug, but it's actually intended. Second, in case you didn't know, you can use 2 ships to move heavier objects. Same with the multi-tool and dedicated handheld tractor beam as well. We also found that the plan is to increase fuel consumption when towing at some point. I don't think that's coming initially, though. And then lastly, for the Q&A, we were told that our signature would also rise when using the towing beam. This is likely obvious, but just in case, I thought I would share, because I think, you know, at some point, I think our signature is going to matter, but right now it doesn't. And then we move on to Anvil Aerospace, and there's absolutely nothing of note here except, oh wait, like a week after it was your last chance to earn it, the F8C with 60 months insurance, they offered the ship to players who got a golden ticket but didn't buy it for 120 months insurance, and people were mad for like an hour. And then CIG was like, okay, send us a ticket and we'll fix it. Zero drama outside the normal, limited ship not being that limited, which is, you know, classic CIG at this point. It's just to be expected. Then for Misk and Mirai, as far as I'm aware, we didn't see anything new here on Friday, but people got their shot at the larger hull series ships and others, right? And then for RSI, the highlight here is certainly the Arastra. So let's chat about it, but only briefly, because we have to really wait for the Q&A post, since the sale leaves a lot of questions. The main thing is the ship is large large, 5 crew members, and it is a mining ship with defensive turrets, which is the first of its kind. I love this, but more importantly, it has 3 size 3 lasers, and that's one of my main questions. How will they be different from size 1 and 2 lasers, since those each have their pluses and minuses? What will be, I think it's obvious what the pluses will be, but what will be the minuses? All mining turrets are remote, which is awesome, and they move. Think the C1 or the Scorpius. They can move around the ship a little bit. The middle one goes from top to bottom. The side ones go side to side. It has a refinery. And that's my next question. How is this different than the stations? How is it worse than the Expanse, which is a dedicated refinery ship? So naturally, that should be the best at refining, right? We'll see. And it was $525 with new money and $575 if you used any store credit. It's pricey. And I need to know a lot more before I have a solid opinion about it. But it is a very interesting ship. It's very different from all the other mining ships while also being very much the same because the mining ships work pretty well. So we'll have to see. I'm really, really interested in that Q&A, and we'll get you that next week. So get subscribed if you're not yet. Best in show, the 4 winners are the Vulture, my favorite, the Redeemer, the Corsair, and the 600i, and the paints look really great. They offered a pretty cool metallic kind of sand color, I would call it, armors, and I'm not going to lie, they look amazing. I love this kind of cosmetic, but again, I wish it was for a skin of some kind instead of another thing that fills my inventory to scroll through. But that was IAE for the week. I think we have one more day that starts today. I think that's the final day, which is everything, so not much to cover there. We made it through IAE. I'm really, really interested in the updates that we're going to be getting on 322 now from this point forward, hopefully. Now with that, we did have some really good updates for videos, so let's check that out. And we start out with ISC Arrested development. And similar to last week, we used most of the footage in this show for the discussions around the SRV and the Arastra, but something really interesting happened this week, and it was this comment.
Most people don't know that you can get repaired from soft def now. But obviously, you won't be in a safe place if you got put into soft def, so the SRV is going to come along, tow your ship to a safe location where it can get repaired. It's like a car recovery vehicle if you break down on the motorway sort of thing.
It can be towed back to a spaceport, and then that ship can be repaired back to a state of flight.
So I had no idea this was a thing, and like if it was, Reddit missed it, everyone on YouTube missed it, and Twitch missed it. So that's kind of crazy. So fast forward to SCL, and this is what they said about the same thing this week.
The repair isn't in yet, so you will be able to move it, and but repairing, I think, doesn't. Like we didn't prepare for that yet, so there is no drop-off points yet with the SRV. But for the future, that will be the case, that you have like the dedicated drop-off points where you can then fix the ships that you cannot repair on site anymore, especially the bigger ships with because there's the concept of size 1 and size 2 ship items you can replace, right? You can pull them out with a tractor beam and pull something or push something back in to that, whereas with like the bigger items, size 3 and size upwards, you cannot remove. So if they are destroyed, you lost them, and then you need to bring the ship that is now dead in the water into the hangar and have it repaired there.
Okay, so people were a little bit annoyed with their poor communication here, which is no surprise at all. It's basically par for the course at this point. And I want to take this on a more positive route, and that is that they're clearly working on ships being repaired from soft death. Right? Like, if it's in the game, it's not in the game, it doesn't really matter. It's coming. And this opens up repair missions, much more engaging rescue gameplay, and it starts to allow for real punishments for failure, like longer claim times, repair costs, and fuel costs, and all these things, which pushes us to work together. And I love this. Let me know what you guys think. It's a tow truck, right? It doesn't seem like it's much, but if you think about it, it's so much more than that. And obviously, based on the name, the rest of the show was the team of car salesmen telling me why I need to buy the new mining ship, the RSI Arastra, but they didn't really tell a whole lot about it. It was the sale we spoke about above wasn't even out yet, so it basically just showed it visually and shared that the mining heads can move. I mean, that was really the only major details there. Star Citizen Live asked the devs was with resource management. These were the guys that we unfortunately didn't get 2 weeks ago, I think, because of some technical issues. So the most interesting takeaway from the show was right away, and I'm super happy to hear it.
Actually, it's two reasons. So one is the restructure that will happen next year. So meeting the folks that come over from the squadron team and get to know them. So because they will be working closely with me on the PU. And the second, more important for the community, is actually the release, or the soon to be released structural salvage, because we have our go no go at the end of the week, and because of the importance of the feature, we decided it makes sense to come over and help the team to get it ready.
So the Squadron 42 team is being integrated in, and I love it. But he did say next year, and it's clear that these things will take a little bit of time. So if you thought 322 was going to have some juicy stuff, I don't really think so. Obviously, he did mention structural salvage. That's probably the best thing coming in the patch. So with that, you have to assume this isn't happening. This is happening, on a lot of teams, and I can't wait to see the results in the PU at some point, but it sounds like that point is next year sometime, whether it's Q1, Q2, and beyond, it's hard to say. Then they asked the question, I think, about engineering for nearly every Star Citizen backer: can I solo my multi-crew ship?
So if you have your brand new ship that you just pulled out of your hangar for the first time, the wear and tear is non-existent on it. So that means that there is no maintenance required. So if you prepare the energy management on the ship, no matter how big the ship is, you can fly it on your own. But does it really make sense? Because then you are suddenly on the move, then you might get attacked, so parts will get destroyed on your way. That will result in, you from the pilot seat have to get up and then walk over to those destroyed pieces and repair them. So yes, you can do it, but it will be a real pain to actually maintain your ship.
And the answer is exactly what you would have expected. Yes, of course you could, but it won't be as easy as it is now, and you'll have to maintain the ship to avoid as many issues as possible. Nothing new there. Another note is it's going to be harder for people to attack you if you do have a crew as well, right? So as it's pretty easy to pirate people now, that's going to get a lot harder. So that's important too. The next question, well, I love it.
Next question is about repair. Are mini games planned to fix things, or is it just nothing but magic beams over and over and over again?
So there were plans for having more bespoke repair, but that will not be part of the initial release. We will just go for the simple solution first, and then we will observe how that actually is perceived by the community. And if there is the necessity to actually make it more complex or more bespoke per item, then sure, we will think about that.
Fires, you can have bad atmosphere, you can have, actually loss of atmosphere or, toxic atmosphere due to a fire. Or you could also have relays being knocked out and you need to figure out which items to, turn off or turn on to compensate and keep fighting as well as you can until somebody can repair that. So there is already a degree of complexity to the damage handling, but the main thing is going to be right now for repairing just the beam, and we'll see.
The goal is to keep it simple so they can figure out the best way to make the game more fun and then add some complexity. And the second response is really the key here. There are unique repair mechanics in the game already, right? So they don't want to go overboard here and make it ridiculous. Something that basically just disappeared, by the way, was subcomponents, and they've kind of addressed it here.
Yes, we have some components that are still going to exist in some form, but only if it really makes sense if it's adding some functionality, because that's where just modeling health with.
You don't need to drill down on every single thing just because we need to drill down on every single thing.
That's like our credo, or it started to be our credo, which is we really want to have meaningful gameplay rather than complex gameplay for the complexity's sakes. So this is something that is starting to be very, very important for us. And but also to answer concretely on that question. So we have them on our plan. They are not currently planned for the initial release because there are several reasons, but especially content would just kill us if we would just say, by the way, we want to have some components for every item, and then
The most important thing for me there was, again, they don't want to overcomplicate things just to be different. They want to focus on the fun first, which is the opposite of what Jared says a lot. It's not about realism, it's about fun. And then they improve on it after they get the feedback on how we interact with the system. So notice the difference between the people who actually design the game versus the people who represent the game. Oh, it's all about realism, and then we go back to fun. No, these guys are focused on the fun, and then we can complicate it and make it more interesting and maybe more realistic. And that is really, really an important thing to pay attention to, because I think that's the biggest shift that's been going on lately, and that's why I enjoyed CitizenCon so much. It seemed to be way more about the fun than anything else. And then the last question was a when question.
What kind of time frame are we shooting for? I'm not gonna, don't look into the camera and be like, it will be in this thing. I wouldn't believe you if you said that. But we have targets. What are we shooting for? What's the, you kept saying not in the first iteration. What's this first iteration of resource management intended to look like? And when are we shooting?
So we are targeting Q2 next year with the release of life support, fire, and the engineering gameplay, so the base resource network with all the base functionality. So that will have also the repair beam with it, the item functionality that we showcased in the demo. So basically everything that you saw in the demo, that is the plan for Q2.
Now that's the June patch. That's really far away, and a lot can happen between now and then. There's no point in spending much energy on this. I don't really know why they asked it. I assume they knew, but maybe they didn't, that it was coming in Q2. And again, I can't wait to see it when it's ready. This feature's game-changing for literally everyone, not just multi-crew ships. And then we'll go into some quick hits. I didn't want to cut out everything and share it with you, because then it would have been the whole 40-minute section. The ship will have unique layouts for the relay system, with military ships having more redundancy, obviously. The gameplay, this will kind of bring back gameplay with item differences based on categories for components like industrial and competition types. Ships will still explode if you let the power plant fail really badly, and maybe some other components. Hopefully, there's some new MFDs that will provide better information on damaged components in a pinch, like while you're flying to the pilot or something like that, not just the engineering panel. But it sounds like they haven't addressed it yet, probably because it applies the same logic to get the system out and get it out there to us without having to rely on too many other teams. And then we'll have the ability to create atmosphere if we accidentally vented a room or something with some consumables. And that was it for video updates. I think that was the best Star Citizen Live we had all year. Straight to the point, gameplay, fun, focused. And that's important. Now let's move on to other updates. It's a short one this week, and as always, we start out with a sneak peek. This is a really rough version of the Headhunter undersuit, apparently. This does mean that maybe we can expect the Duster stuff, or I don't know, which, you know, because maybe they would have been hinting at that, which was claimed to be in 322, but not on the roadmap yet. So maybe that shows up in this coming week, because I think we expect a roadmap this coming week. And then the Future of Gaming, the Star Engine video was posted, and they posted a newer, I think, super polished version of that video that we saw at CitizenCon. And it changed quite a few things, improved some water, they added the distance you were traveling and speed, and they updated colors a bit and a few other things. Apparently the sounds changed a lot as well. In general, I'm not going to go over it too much, just link will be in the description. Check it out yourself. It's really, really awesome. And with that, that's it for Week in Review this week, guys. We got through IAE, we got through the ship sales, and now let's see what we have for the rest of the year. The end of the year patch is usually some pretty good stuff, and right now it looks a little light, but structural salvage sounds like a really big deal. They did, I guess the guys were there for their go, no-go, and that's why we had them live in the studio, and hopefully it passed, and we'll have to see. Again, maybe we see it in Roadmap Roundup this week, but I don't know. So thanks again for watching. Hit the like button if you enjoyed the video. Leave a comment down below on anything we discussed, anything I might have missed. And yeah, subscribe for more Weeks in Review, and I'll catch you guys next week. Thanks for watching, guys.